everybody know that the climate change is coming, right? Everybody is feeling the heat. Okay, no understand? Right? Everybody is feeling the heat, even in like the amount of rainfall that we are having right now is very much. Okay, no understand? आजकल पानी कसरी पर्छ? कस्तो पाराले पर्छ पानी? हजुर गरम पर्छ नि है। पहिला जस्तो हाम्रो बाबाहरूको टाइममा है, बाजेहरूको टाइममा चाहिँ कस्तो टाइपको पानी पर्थ्यो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ दे वर द नेम्स अफ द रेन्स, क्या हुन्छ नि, कुनीके सावने झरी अरे त, कुनीके चाहिँ फुसफुसे झरी अरे त, दे वर लट्स अफ नेम्स, राइट? नेम अफ द रेन्स। तर आजकल चाहिँ कस्तो टाइपको पानी पर्छ भनेर चाहिँ बाल्टीबाट खनाएको जस्तो भन्छ नि है, सबैजनालाई थाहा छ नि, राइट? All because of the climate change is happening right now, very moment. The time we are breathing, अहिले भर्खर हामीले सास फेर्ने बित्तिकै the climate change is happening everywhere. Okay न भन्नुहोस् न? All because of किन? Because अहिले चाहिँ के भइरहेको छ भने चाहिँ you can see in the like your news, most of the forests are gone. Okay न भन्नुहोस् न? If you hear the news, the amount of forest that has been cleared in Amazon मा कति चाहिँ फरेस्ट एक हाम्रो यहाँ एनपीमा ग्राउन्ड देखिरहेको छ नि, यत्रो ठुल्ठुलो ग्राउन्ड्सहरू, राइट? हामीलाई यो ग्राउन्ड देख्दाखेरि ठुलो ग्राउन्ड लाग्छ नि, but the amount of this size of forest ground, maybe more than this size of the forest grounds, are being like whipped out every day, right? Why? Because of our needs, हैन? हामीलाई पेपर चाहिँदैन, right? पेपर चाहिन्छ। अहिले त झन् के भइरहेको छ भने lots of toilet papers are being used. हाम्रो पाली पहिलातिर बाबाहरूको पालीमा we didn't use toilet papers. We used to use what? Handkerchiefs, right? तर अहिले के भइरहेको छ त, the toilet papers have become very very famous, right? But the amount of producing a toilet paper, you can't imagine. कतिवटा रुखले चाहिँ त्यो टोयलेट पेपर बनिन्छ थाहा छ? न एउटा रुखले बनाउँदाखेरि टोयलेट पेपर 10 वटा जस्तो मात्रै बनिन्छ होला, right? And the amount of producing the paper, toilet paper को मात्रै कुरा गर्दैछु, right? The amount of producing the paper along with the water is so much. अब हुन्छ नि, toilet paper त बनायो भने उल्टा पानी पनि डरलाग्दो नै चलाउँछ, right? So everything about this is like the amount of like the forest is getting cleared is lot, but the amount of plantation that has been happening is very less, right? त्यसै कारणले चाहिँ हाम्रो अघि सरले भन्नुहुँदै थियो नि, केएन मुन्सी सरले, डाक्टर केएन मुन्सी सरले जोड चाहिँ वन महोत्सवलाई चाहिँ मनाउनुको लागि चाहिँ उहाँहरूले एकदम प्रोत्साहन सारै इन्डियामा सबै ठाउँमा नै प्रोत्साहन गर्नुभएको थियो। किन भन्दाखेरि उहाँले चाहिँ अलरेडी 1950 देखि नै उनले चालिसकेको थियो कि अब चाहिँ हुँदैन, राइट? अमाउन्ट अफ लाइक योर ट्री हेज बिन कट भेरी मच। किनभने हामीलाई यस्तो अर्को कुरा चाहिँ के पनि छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ रुखै नचलाउनु भनेको चाहिँ होइन, किनभने रुख चाहिँ हामीलाई इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ सबै कुरामा, राइट? बिकज ट्री इज वान अफ द बिगेस्ट बिल्डिङ मेटेरियल। अहिलेको भक्कु उस आएको छ सिमेन्टहरू, तर पहिलादेखिको लिएर अझ पनि हामीलाई त ट्रीको त एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ, नट ओन्ली फर मेकिङ द फर्निचर्स, इट्स एज अ मेडिसिनल प्लान्ट्स पनि हो, राइट? सो फरेस्टमा एकदमै ट्रीहरू भएको एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ, तर प्रब्लम कहाँ हुन्छ भने चाहिँ अनसस्टेनेबल अब युज गरिरहेको छ, राइट? सो द क्लियरिङ इज फरेस्ट इज मोर, बट द रोपाइ चाहिँ कम्ती भइरहेको छ। सो दिस इज द डे वेयर वी सेलिब्रेट टु प्लान्ट द ट्रिज। अघि सरले भनिहाल्नु भयो नि है, 65 लाख जस्तै छ, सरी 25 लाख जस्तै छ, सारा वेस्ट बेङ्गलमा नै गरिदिन्छ छ। दार्जिलिङमा मोरलेस लाइक 16,000 जस्तो स्याप्लिङ रोपि नै रहेको छ। तर मलाई चाहिँ एज अ कन्जर्भेसन अर्गनाइजर, म डब्ल्युडब्ल्युएफमा काम गर्छु, मलाई चाहिँ कस्तो लाग्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ जस्ट सेलिब्रेटिङ वान डे फर प्लान्टिङ अ ट्री इज नट इनफ। ओके न भन्नुहोस् त सबैजनाले, डु यु एग्री, राइट? हामीले कस्तो गर्छ भन्दाखेरि वर्ल्ड इन्भाइरोमेन्ट डेमा पनि हामी रुख त रोपि नै रहेको हुन्छ नि, रोप्दैन? हामीले रुख रोपि नै रहेको हुन्छ, राइट? वन महोत्सवमा पनि हामी रुख रोपि नै रहेको हुन्छ। द प्रब्लम, वेयर द प्रब्लम लाइज इज planting a tree is not enough. Taking care of those trees that has been planted is the biggest thing. The survival of the saplings that we have planted is the important thing for me. तपाईहरु के भन्नुहुन्छ, राइट? किनभने हामीले कहिलेदेखिको चाहिँ यो वर्ल्ड इन्भाइरोमेन्ट डे मनाइरहेको, वन महोत्सव मनाइरहेको 1950s देखिको। त प्रब्लम कहाँ आइरहेको छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ जुन चाहिँ स्याप्लिङ्स हामीले रोपेको छ त्यसलाई विचारै गर्दैन, आज एक दिन मनाउँछ भोलिपल्टदेखिको त्यो स्याप्लिङ के भयो भयो हो कि भन्नुहोस् त right? So the most important thing is you plant the sapling, but you have to take care of the saplings. Unless and until you care of the saplings, take care of the planting saplings that we have planted, nothing will happen. Okay? So आज म के भन्न चाहन्छु यो मञ्चबाट के भन्न चाहन्छु भन्दा चाहिँ whatever saplings we plant, even in our अब अहिले जुन चाहिँ ceremonial plantation भइरहेको हुन्छ नि, right? Even we do a ceremonial plantation, but I would like to request the father, since you have called his father, to kindly take care of the saplings that we have planted today, and even the forest departmentहरूले हामीले saplings plant गरिरहेको छ, सबैलाई नै take care भन्ने सबैजनालाई म भन्न चाहन्छु. Okay? Thank you all.
That we would celebrate a day of trees. As the speaker before me has rightly said, one day is not enough to make what harm we have done to the planet. Millions of trees being cut every day, if not every hour, somewhere around the planet. And we have been already feeling in our own daily lives changes in the weather system. The time we should be having plenty of rains, we still have dry days. And the days we are supposed to have cool winter time, we have rains. This is what happening for the past 3 years. Immediate effect of deforestation. But we need a day like this today. It's not so much to plant trees, no. It is to conscientize that planting of trees has to be done every day. If you cut one tree, we should make a promise that I will give back 10 trees to the ecosystem. So we need days like this to remind us, not only just to plant few saplings, no, but a day like Environment Day or day like today, we need so that we would be able to conscientize the people that what we are doing is not good to the planet, not good to oneself. So a day like this, we would come together. I'm sure the Forest Department has decided to bring, because the boys and girls of today, you are going to be the future pillars of Darjeeling, or future pillars of society. If you are conscientized the importance of trees, as Mr. Surendra rightly said, SP Sharma, right? SP Sharma rightly said, during the COVID we realized what is the importance of oxygen. Till then we never thought the importance of oxygen. When we really started struggling for oxygen, we understood the value of trees amongst us. Now I see so many people plant snake plants inside their rooms because it would give oxygen, not carbon dioxide during the night time. So we have understood the importance of oxygen, the importance of trees. So day like this, I think that the Forest Department has beautifully arranged this day to conscientize, not so much to plant few saplings and so on. To conscientize us, the trees are our friends. We need trees if we want a future generation to breathe properly. I would congratulate all the people involved in arranging this program, starting from a DFO and all the members of the Forest Department. Let's conscientize many more young minds in our society, especially in Darjeeling. I have been in Darjeeling from 1998. The days of Darjeeling I have seen 1998, and the days of Darjeeling now is entirely different. It's all because, not because of a need, we need trees. The poor people need small little firewood to burn. We can't say don't cut trees. It's not the need has affected us, it is the greed which has affected us. I think we should stop becoming greedy, especially when it comes to our environment, and make it a sustainable development in a country, in a society, especially in Darjeeling.
Administration is everywhere. Administration is there where the construction is done, roads is constructed, where the buildings are built. So in a way, we kind of feel guilty that we also contribute to the cutting down of trees. Without the cutting down of trees, no roads will be built. no sub-center will be made. No ICDS center will be made. But at the same time, administration is committed. We are committed that, like my previous speaker said, that once we cut one tree, we will plant 10 more trees in that place. Of course, granted, in my lifetime, that tree might not grow. It will be, I remember being asked a question, why do you plant trees now? You will not benefit from this. I'm not doing it for my benefit. I'm doing it for the future generation. All of you who are here, I think you keep on hearing these things. You are the future, you are the future. And rightly one of the previous speakers also said that you are the future. But I have gone through this phase. I know. You all feel, right at the time you are students, so you all feel, how can we be the future? How can we take the world as it is? The previous generation has already destroyed the world. So what we're getting is ashes. We're getting nothing. So how do we build on that? See, it is not too late. It is, right now also it's in your hands. It's in your hands, even like, most of us are from municipality areas. We don't have bodies, we don't have kit. But what you can do is take one sapling, plant it, take care of it. Now I would like to tell you, I've been posted everywhere. I've been in planes. I was in Murshidabad before this. Mehrampur, Murshidabad, news mein dekhe hola, asti. I was there. So when I came back to Darjeeling, I love Darjeeling. I'm not from Darjeeling, but I love Darjeeling. Why? Because it still has the forest now. It still has greeneries. When I go to Tagda, during the election I was tagged to Tagda block. So when I went to Tagda, Batuma, I stopped on the way. Just stopped on the way. 5 minutes as the boss era, I just looked at the view. I looked at the trees. You know, there was lots of and my driver was screaming, but why? Because of the trees. Because the jungle was so close together. But I didn't mind. Because for me, I stay here for around 2 to 3 years. And 3 years for me is very precious in the hills. Because the hill people they still know the importance of trees. We don't need to tell anybody. They still know. You go to the plains, you go to Silguri. Have you been to, I think most of you have been to city centers, right? City center? You have been? Janubaksa city center? Silguri go? Janubaksa. Do you remember city center with the side many? There was this ekdam jungle just with you. Do you remember? Jungle. Right? Have you been now recently? So what is there now? Khali. Right? What are they doing? They are widening the road. Right? Now you cannot stop the progress. Progress has to go on. They are widening the road. But we can make up for it. We can plant trees in this place. Now in administration, we have a scheme which everybody must have heard, 100 din ko kaam, Narega, NRGS. Do you know that during the rainy season, when construction stops, rainy season of cement or we cannot work. So what do? During rainy season, we plant trees. There is a particular program under Narega, NRGS, they have already understood, the government has already understood, that one person is given one sapling. One person, one sapling. That person gets money to look after the sapling. 1 day ko rozgar, 1 day wage. That person to look after the tree. That person looks after the tree. And once the tree grows, the tree ko fruits or beads, usko chhodi ka biya gar dincha, choda ka biya gar dincha, nanihala padauncha. So isn't that a wonderful idea? Not just throwing some saplings, but handing it over to some responsible person who has some attachment with that. Because that person knows your sapling la maile grow garera cha pachi yesko maile ruk katyo bhani ya yesko phal beche bhani I'll be able to send my children to good schools. I'll be able to give my daughter to a good family, marry my daughter to a good family. So this is also one plan which can be done. You can have a good plan. This is under the 100-day scheme. This was already thought of, or government so this is like, there are so many ways, you know, that everybody can contribute. Everybody can contribute. I stay in a quarter. It's very small. It's a building. It's in a building. But म जहाँ गयो भने what I do, एउटा दुईटा pot, गमला बोकेर जान्छु। त्यो गमलामा चाहिँ I put in के न के रोप्छु, not trees, म त्यति साह्रो ट्रिजहरू रोप्नु सक्दिनँ गमलामा, but what do I plant? धनिया, हैन? पुदिना, धनिया, at least, like tomato. Even in a small way, no, I am having a kitchen garden bonu, त्यो दुईटा गमलामा। So, अलिकति भए पनि I feel like I am contributing. It is not a big deal. It's a small thing. यही कुरो, you need to take small steps. Small steps. Neil Armstrongले के भन्यो? One small step for man, but one large leap for mankind. हैन? त्यस्तै एकजनाले one person just planting one sapling makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference. And you must be very scared of hearing I am the future, you are the future, you are the future. Like this, it works as it is. We are still here, right? But yes, I would say जो दुनिया बनाउनु छ, it is in your hands. रुख रोपेर होस्, कम्ती कन्स्ट्रक्सन गरेर होस्, अहिले हेर्नु all encroachment बढाएछ. Those of you who came today to school, कति ज्याम भेट्यो, गाडीको ज्याम कति भेट्यो? आजकल दार्जिलिङमा के हुन्छ? हामी बिहान निक्लिँदा के भन्छ? म 15 मिनेटमा पुग्छु, आधा घण्टा चाहिँ ज्यामको लागि राख्छु. Yes or no? Why? किन यस्तो ज्याम छ? They are both sides, eh? Because lot of के हुँदैछ एक जग्गा चाहिँ tourist, too many vehicles, हैन? Too many vehicles which create carbon monoxide, which is very harmful to the atmosphere. Do you know by the Western countries what they do? They carpool. 4-5 जना मान्छे एउटा गाडीमा चढेर हिँड्छ. यहाँ त हैन, यहाँ it's a status symbol. Every person has to have their own vehicle. Everybody has to have their own vehicle. It is a status symbol, and the bigger the better, right? Duster. The cake is, I don't even know what so I am not very mechanically about that, but I think so. In small way, everybody we can contribute. I know I have gone from trees to Cambodia, but since I am in education, I am dealing with so many things. I am mostly forest rights, I am mostly environment, and funnily enough, I am mostly industries. So in one way, I am allowing pollution, I am allowing cutting of trees. In one way, I am sustaining that. See, one person can play so many roles, but which role is more important? That is up to you all to decide.
यो राज्यव्यापीमा आजको दिनमा 25 लाख सिडलिङहरु डिस्ट्रिब्युसन गरिरहेको छ र यसको प्लान्टेसन गरेको छ र यसमा बोल्दा विभिन्न वक्ताहरूले पनि भन्यो प्लान्टेसन गर्नु धेरै उचित हैन तर त्यसको संरक्षण चाहिँ सबैभन्दा इम्पोर्टेन्ट भन्यो त्यो ठिकै कुरो हो तर संरक्षणको साथसाथै यसो कुरो हो हामी अब जुन वन विभागमा हामी बस्छौं र हामीले यसमा प्लान्टेसन गर्छौं प्लान्टेसन गर्दाखेरि यस्तो हो नट हिल्समा मोर्टालिटी रेट भन्छ मोर्टालिटी रेट भन्नुहुन्छ जति 100 वटा हामी बिजन लगायो भने 100 वटा बाच्छ भन्ने कुनै पनि छैन त्यसको लागि वी हेभ अ टर्म रिप्लेस गर्नु पर्यो नि त अनि त्यसले गर्दाखेरि हामीले वन विभागले सधैँ नै एउटा संघर्ष गरिरहेको छ त्यसलाई रिप्लेस गर्नुपर्छ जस्तै कुनै पनि एउटा सिडलिङको एउटा राम्रो ग्रोथ हुनुको लागि एउटा त्यसको एउटा मोर्टालिटी रेट जस्तै एउटा नानी पनि एउटा बढ्दाखेरि के भन्छ 5 वर्षसम्म धेरै एकदम ख्याल गर्नुपर्छ भन्छ वृक्ष पनि त्यही हो हामीले जबसम्म 5 वर्षसम्म गर्ने जब त्यसले 4 फिट 5 फिटको हाइट त्यसले एटेन गर्छ र हुन्छ त्यहाँदेखि त्यसको स्याप्लिङको ग्रोथ पनि राम्रो हुन्छ र त्यसको सर्भाइबिलिटी राम्रो हुन्छ र आज हामीले वनको संरक्षण गर्नु र यस्तो गर्नाले हामीलाई के बेनिफिट हुन्छ यो चाहिँ हामी जति यहाँ यङ जेनेरेसनको छ स्टुडेन्ट्सहरु छ यसले हामीले एकदम जान्नु जरुरी छ आजको सबैभन्दा मोडर्न वर्ल्डमा सबैभन्दा ठुलो मोडर्न सफरिङ के हो कसले याद छ आजको सबै एक्टिभिटी छ जस्तै अहिलेको टाइममा सबैभन्दा प्रब्लम के हुन्छ यो सिजनमा यो सिजनमा दुईटा चीज हुन्छ हेर्नु चाहिँ यो चीजमा सबैभन्दा डिजिजमा ल्यान्डस्लाइड हुन्छ द्याट इज अ स्क्याटर्ड एरियामा हुन्छ तर यो टाइममा हामीले ठिक समयमा राम्रो पानी पाएन भने वाटरबोर्न डिजिज हुन्छ आजको सबैभन्दा ठुलो प्रब्लम वाटरबोर्न डिजिज हो यदि हामीले हेर्नुहोस् जुन ठाउँमा सोर्स राम्रो ठाउँमा छ वाटरबोर्न डिजिज कतिखेर हुन्छ यदि हाम्रो पानीको सोर्स चाहिँ प्रदूषित भयो भने त्यहाँ हामीले म्याक्सिमम चान्सेस हुन्छ वाटरबोर्न डिजिज हुन्छ र आज दार्जिलिङको सबैभन्दा कुनै पनि मान्छेमा जीवनमा लाइफमा आउनु छ भने हामीहरूको 3-4 चिज चाहिँ इम्पोर्टेन्ट हो सर्भाइभलको लागि। जस्तै अब आज हामी हर न्युजमा पढ्दाखेरि के हुन्छ नेसनल सेक्युरिटी भन्छ। नेसनल सेक्युरिटीलाई गभर्मेन्टले जे पनि खर्च गर्छ, तर साथसाथै आज हाम्रो लागि एउटा अर्को सेक्युरिटी पनि छ, द्याट इज भेरी इन्डेन्जर, द्याट इज कल म्यानकाइन्ड सेक्युरिटी। सेक्युरिटीको लागि सबभन्दा ठुलो चाहिँ इन्भाइरोमेन्ट राम्रो क्लिन हुनु हो र राख्नु जग्गा गर्नु हो। र म्यानकाइन्डको सेक्युरिटी लागि छैन भने, आज स्पिसिस छैन भने हामी नेसनल सेक्युरिटीकै काम। त्यही कारणले गर्दा हाम्रो स्पिसिसहरू जोड्नु लागि चाहिँ हामीले इन्भाइरोमेन्ट स्वच्छ राख्नु पर्यो, क्लिन राख्नु पर्यो। र आज हामीले जस्तै वाटर बोर्न डिजिज, जस्तै दार्जिलिङको हेर्नुहोस्, दार्जिलिङको मेन सोर्स जुन चाहिँ टाउन एरियाको छ 90% 80% भनौँ नि सिन्चेल हो। सिन्चेल कहाँ छ अवस्थित छ? जङ्गलमा छ। सिन्चेल वाइल्ड लाइफ सेन्चुरी छ। आज दार्जिलिङमा सिन्चेल जस्तो संरक्षण र जग्गा नभएको भए दार्जिलिङमा एउटा क्राइसिस आउँथ्यो। बेसिक पनि छैन, मान्छे भन्छ वन जङ्गल त्यो जङ्गल हो के होइन भन्छ, तर त्यसको इम्प्लिकेसन धेरै हुन्छ। आज दार्जिलिङमा 7 दिन पानी नअवस्था, क्लिन नअवस्था, यहाँ हाका भन्छ, हाम्रो चेयरम्यान साहबै हुनुहुन्छ, कति ठुलो प्रब्लम हुन्छ, 3 दिन नआउँदा हुन्छ। त्यही कारणले गर्दाखेरि हामीले जहिले पनि वन जङ्गललाई चाहिँ धेरै हामीले संरक्षण गर्नु पर्यो। र हामीले आजको जमानामा अब एरिया त बढ्नु सक्दैन, र आज हाम्रो विशेष डिपार्टमेन्टको के छ चाहिँ हामी दार्जिलिङमा सोसल फरेस्ट्रीमा चाहिँ के हामी इन्करेज गर्छौँ भने वन जङ्गलको त अब पर्टिकुलर एरिया त्यसमा फरेस्ट एरिया बेसी बढाउन सक्दैन, तर हाम्रो आफ्नो जति पनि फाँका एरिया छ, डिग्रेड एरिया छ, जो फरेस्टदेखि एम्बिटदेखि बाहिर छ, त्यहाँ पनि हामीले इन्करेज गर्नु पर्यो, ताकि हामीहरूको वन जङ्गल राम्रो भयो भने अटोमेटिकली तपाईँको त्यहाँ धेरै तपाईँको 3-4वटा बेनिफिट हुन्छ। हामी हिल्समा बस्छौँ, हिल्समा सबैभन्दा याद गर्नुभएको छ होला, बेसी मान्छेहरू नेचरल क्लाइमेटमा जुन मर्छ त्यो चाहिँ ल्यान्डस्लाइडमा मर्छ, अरू चिजमा मर्दैन। हाम्रोमा डुबाउमा मान्छे मर्दैन। कहिले सुन्नुभएको छ पाहाडमा डुबाउमा मऱ्यो भनेको? सुन्दैन। मर्छ तर ल्यान्डस्लाइड कहाँ जान्छ? जहाँ गली फर्मेसन हुन्छ, नाङ्गो म्याक्सिमम डाँडा काँडा हुँदैन। किनभने जङ्गल छ भने एउटा चिज चाहिँ सबैभन्दा हामीले चिज चाहिँ के हुन्छ भने हामी साइन्टिफिक हेऱ्यो भने रन अफ हुन्छ, पानीको त्यो बगाउ तेज हुन्छ नि तपाईँको, कम्ती हुन जान्छ। त्यो कम्ती भएपछि अरूपट्टि त्यो च्यानलहरू खोलाहरूको त्यो स्ट्रिम लाइन भएर जान्छ। यदि त्यो नाङ्गो डाँडा छ भने त्यो पानी आयो भने के भल आयो भन्छ नि, भल आउने सिस्टम ज्यादा हुन्छ। त्यही कारणले हामीले जङ्गलहरू र संरक्षण गर्नु भने सबैभन्दा इम्पोर्टेन्ट चिज चाहिँ भलहरूदेखि झगडा हुन्छ। त्यही भल भएर ठुलो खोला हुन्छ, खोला आएपछि त्यो स्लिप बढ्छ, स्लिप बढेपछि हाम्रो ल्यान्डस्लाइड प्रोन एरिया हुन्छ। हाम्रो दार्जिलिङ मैले अहिले हाम्रो दार्जिलिङ डिस्ट्रिक्ट, कालिम्पोङ डिस्ट्रिक्ट दुईटैमा डिजास्टर म्यानेजमेन्ट प्लान छ। त आजको जमानामा अनलाइन छ, तपाईँले हेर्नुहोस् अनलाइनमा कहाँ सेन्सिटिभ जोन छ, ल्यान्डस्लाइड प्रोन एरिया छ, त्यो ठाउँमा हामीहरूले जसरी हामी शिक्षित वर्गहरू छौँ, हामी त्यो ठाउँमा हामीले प्लान्टेसन गर्ने इन्करेज गर्नुपर्छ र त्यहाँ संरक्षण गर्ने कोसिस गर्नुपर्छ। त्यो गऱ्यो भने हाम्रो पार्ट सुरक्षित रहन्छ। र साथै अर्को कुरा हुन्छ, अनि हामीले अघि एउटा कुरा आउँदै थियो ट्राफिक जाम हुँदै। अब नयाँ मोडर्निटी वर्ल्डमा आएपछि जब अलिकति मान्छेको लिभिङ स्ट्यान्डर्ड बढ्छ, गाडी त किन्छ, आज मान्छेले पहिला छैन किन्छ, त्यसलाई हामी रोक्नु सक्दैनौँ। तर अब वन जङ्गलले पनि त्यसमा फाइदा छ, किनभने यो संसारमा एउटै साधन छ जसले चाहिँ कार्बनलाई एब्जर्भ गर्छ। त्यो चाहिँ के हो? त्यो सबैलाई याद छ, सानोले याद छ, प्लान्ट्स होइन। त्यो कुनै मेकानिजमै छैन संसारमा जसलाई चाहिँ कार्बनलाई सिङ्गो छ। अनि यदि आज हामीले प्रदूषण कार्बन हामी राम्रो संरक्षण गरेछ भने कार्बन सिङ्क एरिया छ। र आज हाम्रो फरेस्ट डिपार्टमेन्टको इन फ्युचरमा आउँदैछ नयाँ कार्बन सिक्वेस्ट्रेसन भन्ने एउटा सिस्टम छ। त्यसमा चाहिँ जसले बेसी वन संरक्षण गर्छ त्यसले क्रेडिटिङ सिस्टम गरेर एउटा मोनेटाइजिङ सिस्टम पनि हुनुहुन्छ छ। तर यो अहिले हालैमा दार्जिलिङमा आएको छैन, तर इन फ्युचर यो हुन्छ होला। र हामीले वन संरक्षण गऱ्यो भने हामीले आफ्नै पाहाडलाई एउटा सुरक्षित पनि राख्न सक्छौँ, र संरक्षण गऱ्यो भने साथै हामीले आफ्नो जति पनि अहिले देखेको बिमारहरू त्यसबाट हामी अब कम्प्लिट त हुँदैन, तर धेरै कमियाँ हामीले गर्नु सक्छौँ, रिड्युस गर्नु सक्छौँ। र यसरी भन्दै म एउटा सानो वक्तव्य न्यासेज गर्नु पऱ्यो र हामी सबैले वन संरक्षण गर्नु पऱ्यो।
म आर्मी पब्लिक स्कुल पढेको, त्यसले गर्दा त्यो आर्मी पब्लिक स्कुलतिर चाहिँ अन्त सेन्ट्रल स्कुल पढेको। अब त्यो सिबिएसई बोर्ड हुनाले हामीलाई वन महोत्सवको बारेमा चाहिँ अलिक सिकाइन्थ्यो क्या, एउटा करिकुलम जस्तो नै थियो। So that is how I started my journey, and I'm very much into loving my environment. But tell you what, we have inherited the love for our environment. I guess you all understand about the concepts being introduced in our religion. Veda, in Veda, like we have always found, especially in religion like Hinduism and Buddhism, and even in other religions like Christianity or be it any religion in the world, we have been associated with preservation, conservation of our forest, of our areas. We have inherited that, but still we have forgotten. When the civilization started to upgrade, civilization expanded from one place to another, then we have forgotten about the values of what these elements are. I guess you have seen in religion, like we have, when you go to the monasteries, you have seen like 5 colors. And at home, when you do the prayers, you have seen the 5 colors. That is the 5 elements of nature. See? But we don't understand about that, the values of that. So the Baum Mahotsav is a program where you are being taught about how to understand and how to believe in what we have inherited. Our culture has always been a part of it. Like we have been always a part of environmentalists. हामीले nature worship गर्छौं कि गर्दैनौं? We are having a background of a tribals. And having a background of the tribals, we have always learned about it, but we haven't executed it. As I see a lot of students here, and I see many of you will pursue one day to become one of the greatest of great, but believe in yourself. First, love your nature. One thing I'd like to tell you as the chairman of Darjeeling Municipality, it's very interesting thing what I want to share is now the time has come. Somebody was telling in the previous, the person like who was elaborating the concept of how we have to understand the environment. Tell you what, Singchar Lake is the only source of water. And tell you what, we have lost the catchment area. When the British was here, the British have created this place. I always explain this place as a Darjeeling as a movie. The producer and the actors, producer and the director was British, and the actors were our forefathers who have worked upon it to create Darjeeling. British were what? They have come, they have enjoyed their life, but blood and sweat were of our forefathers and the 7th generation in this place. I have seen the changes has happened. When I was a student, Darjeeling was Darjeeling. And now the Darjeeling is no more a Darjeeling. Darjeeling is somewhere have died. But we have to create Darjeeling back to what it was in its days. Talking about Singchar Lake, we have to preserve and conserve that very place, mind you. One day, if we lose that place, the entire Darjeeling will suffer. We had 22 natural sources. Of course, it's been identified and created by the British. But what we did, we lost it. We lost it. Now we have got only 6 or 7, which is in a very active manner. And even that has been tapped. We will not have a water crisis, mind you. We will never have a water crisis in Darjeeling if all these tapped waters have been preserved. You have seen there are more than 150 to 200 trucks filled up with water been supplied into Darjeeling town. You know what? Each of this tanker carries 6,000 liters of water, and you calculate how many lakh gallons of water have been supplied through those tankers. So we, as a Darjeeling municipality, are now planning to preserve all those water and bring it back to its natural form and supply it to town and make our people happy, having the water in a good mood and good way. So it's a plan to be done before. The Darjeeling would have been Darjeeling if our previous, I don't know, I don't want to name them, but if they would have planned 100 years of Darjeeling, then Darjeeling would have been Darjeeling. The British planned Darjeeling for 200 years. That is what we have inherited. So I'm not going to take a lot of time of yours, but I just want to tell you, दार्जिलिङलाई बचाउनु छ भने तपाईँ हामी सबै एकसाथ भएर निक्लिनुपर्छ। आज वन महोत्सवमा तपाईँहरूले प्लान्टेसन गर्नुभयो, त्यो प्लान्टेसन गरेर त्यसलाई प्रिजर्भ गर्ने काम तपाईँहरूको। एक एकवटा प्लान्टलाई तपाईँले एडप्ट गर्नुहोस्, त्यो प्लान्टलाई नानी जस्तो नरिस गरेर लानुहोस् र भोलि त्यो प्लान्टले दिएको अक्सिजन चाहिँ हाम्रो आउँदो जेनेरेसनले पाओस् भन्ने चाहिँ एउटा सोच राख्नुपर्छ। इन्डियामा अहिले 24 to 25%, 24 to 25% is forest area. Rest of the areas are all deforested and they have created urbanization and all this has happened. तर mind you, अहिले इन्डिया बाँचेको चाहिँ हिमालयले हो, वेस्टर्न घाट, इस्टर्न घाट, यसको जति पनि एउटा नेचर छ त्यसले गर्दा हो। र इन्डियामा जति पनि अहिले डिफरेस्टेसन भन्छौँ, यो भन्छौँ, त्यो भन्छौँ, एफरेस्टेसन गर्छौँ, एफरेस्टेसन गरेर प्लान्टेसन गर्छौँ, तर हाम्रो सबभन्दा ज्यादा सोच चाहिँ हाम्रो के हुनुपर्छ भने त्यसलाई माया गर्नु, त्यो रुखलाई माया गर्नु। र हामी यो कुरालाई याद गर्दै आज तपाईँहरूले धेरैजनाले प्लान्टेसन गर्नुभयो होला, घर लगेर पनि प्लान्टेसन गर्नुहुन्छ, त्यो प्लान्टलाई एडप्ट गर्नुहोस्, माया गर्नुहोस्, त्यसलाई हुर्काउनुहोस्, बढाउनुहोस्, ताकि आउँदो जेनेरेसनले तपाईँको यो मायालाई अगाडि बढाएर जाओस् र त्यो एमाजोनमा जस्तो नहोस्। वर्ल्डको सबभन्दा इम्पोर्टेन्ट जग्गा नै एमाजोन हो। एमाजोनले जति अक्सिजन सप्लाई गर्छ त्यो वर्ल्डमा कुनै पनि जग्गाले अक्सिजन सप्लाई गर्दैन। आई थिङ्क द स्टुडेन्ट्स नोज अबाउट इट। एमाजोनको डिफरेस्टेसन दुःखलाग्दो कुरा हो। एमाजोनमा अहिले फरेस्ट सकिसक्यो, ब्राजिलियन बेसिन यो सबै तुर्ला जस्तो भइसक्यो, दुःखलाग्दो कुरा हो। तर अब हाम्रो पार्टमा हामी काम गर्नुपर्छ। त्यो इन्टरनेसनल कुरा भयो, हामी लोकलबाट स्टार्ट गरौँ। सो भोकल फर लोकल भन्छ, त्यो प्रकारले हामी लोकलबाट सुरु गरेर हाम्रो खालके रुख रोप्नुपर्छ। प्लेन साइडमा हुने रुख यहाँ रोपेर हुँदैन। सब ट्रपिकल, ट्रपिकल, टेम्परेट, अल्पाइन, देयर आर सो मेनी डिफ्रेन्ट उयो छ, त्यो प्रकारको रुख रोप्नुपर्छ जुन चाहिँ होस् यहाँनिर, बुझौँ होइन, जुन चाहिँले चाहिँ फेरि भविष्यमा राम्रो काम गरोस्। अहिले हामी क्रिप्टोनेरिया जापानीको देख्छौँ यहाँ धेरै रोपिएको, त्यो ब्रिटिसले ल्याएर रोपेको। तर हाम्रो नेचुरल के हो, हाम्रो के थियो, हाम्रो नेटिभ के थियो, म्याग्नोलिया। हाम्रो नेटिभ के हो, रोडोडेन्ड्रन। हाम्रो नेटिभ ट्रिज चेस्टनट्स है सर, त्योहरू हामीले रोप्नुपर्छ। त्यो हाम्रो नेटिभ ट्रिज हो, त्योपट्टि पनि ध्यान दिनुपर्छ। किनभने क्रिप्टोनेरिया जापानीको त चाइनिज के अरे ब्रिटिसले ल्याएर राखिदियो नि होइन। त्यो भन्दै म तपाईँहरूलाई ज्यादा टाइम लिँदिनँ। थ्याङ्क यू भेरी मच।
You will definitely become some leader in your life, in future life, and what role you have to play for the conservation of nature, for sustainable development, that will be a very vital thing that you should follow later in your life. I would just like to give an example so that you can relate it to Darjeeling itself. And I have not been native to Darjeeling, but what I have observed here after coming to this place, like the landslides, that is a very frequent phenomenon in Darjeeling. And that is only because that we have been ruthlessly deforesting, and you all know the roots of the trees, they hold soil together, and if that strength is weakened, the area is prone to landslides. Again, after coming to Darjeeling, I have heard that earlier on the trek to Sandakphu during this season, the growth of rhododendron, it used to be a wonderful thing. But this season, I have heard that it is not that great this year. It did not bloom that much as it used to. So these things, you can relate it to yourself. Other places have a different ramification of climatic change and deforestation, but at least for Darjeeling, you can relate it to yourself. And then you can work towards betterment of all these things. So this is the one Mahotsav that is being celebrated. Much has been already told about it, that a single day of afforestation is not going to help us. We need to inculcate this habit in our life so that we keep on the habit of afforestation whenever we get an opportunity. And apart from that, one of the speakers has already told, the afforestation is not the only thing that we should focus on, rather nurturing the sapling that we have planted today. That is also very important. So Apart from that, as students, you have a very crucial role to play in this movement for nature preservation, conservation, and all these efforts. Your energy, passion, and innovative ideas is going to have a long-term impact in this field. So as an individual, I just like to highlight 2, 3, 4 things maybe, which you can practice in your life and you can just preach among yourself and make people aware so that you make a landmark change. At least not a landmark, at least a simple step, small contribution to the sustainable development of Darjeeling. I already told about planting and nurturing trees. That is one of the things that you can do. And for that you can create awareness among your society, among people. Next, you yourself should adopt some sustainable habits like reduce plastic usage. You should practice all those habits of water conservation. हम लोग मूवी में ad देखते हैं, पानी जला के लोग शेविंग कर रहे हैं, ये सब कर रहे हैं. You must have seen all these ads. So they are very relevant, and we should definitely practice that. Not only the chairman of municipality told essential like the only source of the fresh water for Darjeeling, and what importance this fresh water holds for Darjeeling, you can already understand because you are native of this place. So all these habits, which are basically sustainable habits that you practice when you go to cities, try some carpooling services. Try using some public transportation rather than going on your own vehicle. These are certain things that you can take as a student so that you make at least little change in your lifestyle and work for the betterment of the climate and the environment of Darjeeling. Apart from that, you can also attach yourself with various NGOs. Gentleman from WWF was present already over here, so he gave a wonderful speech, and you people can also contribute through these NGOs so that you can have a very wonderful environment over here in Darjeeling. And I am sure many of you would be some policy maker or in a leadership position in a future life. So join hands with all the like-minded people and individuals to advocate for the policies that will promote the sustainable development and cause for Darjeeling. So remember that what choices that we take today, the consequences, we are only going to face that. So make right choices as a kid, as small, as the new generation, you have to see a lot of things in your life. So make choices so that the consequences are not that bitter, very healthy consequence, and we should all work towards sustainable development. I think I would end my speech with these small words.
Buildings in all the districts across West Bengal, and this year also we have planned, and within one day we are planning to plant 25 lakh seedlings in across West Bengal, and in Darjeeling division will plant 16,600 seedlings today itself, and we are planning to plant another 16,000 seedlings in other places also in coming days, but within one day we are planting 16,600 seedlings. And I would request all the public of Darjeeling to participate in this afforestation program, and I would request the media people to create awareness for the forest conservation and tree planting, because it is always associated with our drinking water and our economy of tourism. So I request all your cooperation in making this program a grand success.
म एसपी शर्मा एडीएफओ दार्जिलिङ फरेस्ट डिभिजनबाट र आज यहाँ 2023 वन महोत्सव उपलक्ष्यमा आज यहाँ पालन गरियो र यसमा हाम्रो विशेष गरिकन अतिथि हुनुहुन्थ्यो एसपी शर्मा एसपी दार्जिलिङ अनि चेयरम्यान हुनुहुन्थ्यो दार्जिलिङ म्युनिसिपालिटी, अनि फादर हुनुहुन्थ्यो यहाँ सेन्ट जोसेफ्स स्कुलको, अनि हुनुहुन्थ्यो टिचर्सहरू फ्रम सेन्ट माइकल स्कुल, अनि WWFबाट श्री दिपेन्द्र सुनार पनि हुनुहुन्थ्यो। र हाम्रो यस वन महोत्सव जुन चाहिँ हामी 14 जुलाईदेखि 20 जुलाईसम्म पालन गर्छौँ, प्रत्येक वर्ष नै यो वेस्ट बङ्गालमा भइरहेको छ। र यो उपलक्ष्यमा हाम्रो मिनिस्टर इन्चार्ज जो फरेस्ट हुनुहुन्छ उहाँको आदेशमा आज यो स्टेटभरि नै, यो पश्चिम बङ्गालभरि नै 25 लाख बिरुवाहरू रोपिँदैछ र आज हाम्रो टार्गेट चाहिँ 25 लाख पुरा गर्नेछ। र यो सबै नै यो प्रत्येक रेन्ज प्रत्येक डिभिजनमा नै भइरहेको छ आजको दिन, र आज मात्रै गरिन्छ त्यो। र अरू चाहिँ यस उपलक्ष्यमा हाम्रो डिस्ट्रिब्युसन अफ सिडलिङ जुन चाहिँ बिरुवन वितरण हुँदैछ त्यो चाहिँ 14 देखि 20 सम्म नै हुन्छ र प्रत्येक इन्डिभिजुअललाई हामी 5-5 बिरुवा दिनेछौँ र प्रत्येक अर्गनाइजेसन जस्तो स्कुल कलेज समितिहरू भयो र यो गभर्नमेन्ट अर्गनाइजेसन जति पनि छ सबैलाई 100-100 बिरुवाहरू हामीले दिँदैछौँ र यसमा यो हामीले बिरुवा आज स्कुल रोप्नुको लागि हामी स्कुल स्टुडेन्ट्स फ्रम सेन्ट जोसेफ स्कुलबाट बोलाएका थियौँ र अनि स्टुडेन्ट्स फ्रम सेन्ट माइकल स्कुलबाट पनि बोलाएका थियौँ र उनीहरूले यसमा पार्टिसिपेट गरे अनि हाम्रो एपिसीबाट पनि यो रानीवन एपिसी अनि पाभोरे एपिसीबाट पनि सदस्यगणहरू यहाँ आएर यसमा शोभा बढाउनु भयो र यसमा पार्टिसिपेट गर्नुभयो र यस कार्यक्रममा हामी सिट एन्ड ड्र कम्पिटिसन पनि गरेको थियौँ त्यो चाहिँ सेन्ट जोसेफ स्कुल 5, 6 and 7 स्टुडेन्टहरूलाई लिएर गरेको थियौँ र त्यसको लागि हामीले यस उपलक्ष्यमा ट्रफी पनि प्रदान गऱ्यौँ विथ सर्टिफिकेट टु द स्टुडेन्ट्स हु स्टुड फर्स्ट सेकेन्ड थर्ड जो भएका छन् उनीहरूलाई हामीले यो वितरण गऱ्यौँ र आजको यस राम्रोसँग यो कार्यक्रम सञ्चालन भयो र यसको सबैको श्रद्धा हाम्रो स्टाफ जति पनि छन् जो चाहिँ यहाँ आएर यो प्रोग्रामलाई सफल बनाउनु भयो त्यसको लागि म सबै स्टाफहरूलाई हाम्रो डिएफओ साहबलाई हाम्रो सबै स्टाफलाई धन्यवाद दिन्छु। धन्यवाद।